What's up, you guys? Claak here, out with another video, and I actually normally don't like making guides. Even though, if you look at my past videos, there's a lot of guides, but I strictly do that because it's easy views. It really is. It's easy to get views on that because like everyone's searching how to play, you know, stuff like that, and that's why I do that. But this time, I actually want to make a guide because there is some big changes to Resto Druid that actually change up the talents drastically. Most of the time, if you've looked at this expansion and last expansion, the talents have been very similar. But right now, it is changed. So if you would like to ask me a question personally and I some reason don't answer the question that you have in this video, you can go ahead and check out my Twitch channel. It is right there. And I stream a lot of time. So if you want to come and ask me a question personally, and I would love to be able to help you out, go ahead and hit me up. So what we are first going to go over is the stats and the gear that you want to go for as a Resto Druid. Now the main stat you want to go up to is Mastery. That is the first main stat. You want to get this up to around 20 to 21, 22, somewhere around there. Percentage, and then once you get that, then you're going to want to go ahead and go into full haste gear as much as you can. As you can see, I'm not even near where I want to be. My gear is kind of bad and it's kind of everywhere. I got a lot of crit. I got a decent amount of versatility. I'm just not having the best luck with the gear. But the reason is for that is not completely because of RNG. I mean, I guess it is, but basically what happens is you see this piece of gear. I have like a 395. I maybe might have replaced like a 380 gear with a 395, and the 380 gear had like the best stats. But since this gear has 15 more item level, intellect trumps all, it is worth to sacrifice that secondary stats that you needed for the intellect, because this is huge. Now for the pieces of gear that you want to get, is one of them comes from a Battle of Dalazar. I think I said that right, hopefully. And it comes from King Rastakhan. Dude, I'm gonna butcher all their names, by the way. Like, I'm just gonna point and like I'm gonna be like, that's the one you want, okay? So help me out. So for this, one of the best in slot trinkets you can actually get is the Mirror of Entwined Fate. Now there are some other trinkets that are more viable in this. This is just something you can go for if you're in the dungeon. You can look out for. I wouldn't necessarily use your rolls on this, but there is a good chance you could probably get it if you use your roll. But I wouldn't use it. But let's go ahead and go over the trinket that I have that I think works amazing. This trinket right here, Revitalize Voodoo Totem. Now, if you're wondering where that comes from this dungeon right over here. If you're Horde, it's very lucky because it's right next door. Altazar Dazar. So what I got lucky is I got it lucky on a Mythic 9. It drops from, I think, the last boss, but you're gonna want to get this a Mythic version. I wouldn't go for a Mythic like 0, which is a 370 item level trinket. That's probably not worth it. You probably lose a lot of intellect, and the heal on it is not going to be that very big. So if you can, try to do it on a Mythic +8. Gear is very easy to get right now, so if you need to gear up to go and be able to do those mythics and be able to farm it, super simple. Get this piece is absolutely amazing. Again, you're able to use this while silence, and I would say this probably heals for around like 40 to 50k, and it's super strong. You're gonna see like the last tick that it does for like 5,000 every 0.4 seconds for like it's crazy. Like here, actually I can use this on myself. Here, let me show you. So in arena, it's gonna do about half this. They pop it. Oh, that's something I learned. Okay, so this trinket actually is not infected in arena because that's how much it does in arena. That's interesting. I didn't know that. So as you can see, that did a lot of healing. And it's definitely worth it. I try to use this when I do get kicked by like a mage or something, and like this can help. This can help out a lot. Now for the next two trinkets that you possibly want to get and that you might already have, if not, do not worry. You can get it through doing the PvP, and you'll be able to get it from the quest, the PvP quest, the conquest cap stuff, the weekly cap. You guys know what I'm talking about? This stuff right here. You're gonna be able to get it through that. You can get both of these trinkets. If I were you, get the Maledict. It's probably more important because it is very viable, especially in 2s. 3s, not so viable as a healer, but still helps out. But one of the trinkets you want to get is Sinister Gladiator's Safeguard. This helps out with your defensively to be able to survive any goes from like an RMP or a team that's just gonna run you down simply. So this is very huge. It automatically procs. You don't have to press anything. It's passive, so it's absolutely amazing. It's kind of like an oh shit button, to be honest. Now for the second trinket that you want to go for, again, and like I already said, is the Sinister Gladiator's Maledict. People just call it the dick item. When they if you watch anyone stream, a lot of times they're just going to be like, I dick this guy, and you might be like, what they're talking about. This is what they're talking about. And basically what it does is it does a decent amount of damage. You can crit up to like 25k, 30k, I've seen it. And it also puts a 52,000 healing necrotic strike on them, and it absorbs all of it. And it can't stack, but a lot of times what people do with it is they'll pop, one person will pop it and the healer will dispel it, and the second person will pop theirs, and then maybe a third person will pop it if it's a 3v3. This trinket's absolutely, it's pretty broken. It kind of makes the game not that fun, but it is very viable. If you want to be able to compete with other people, your DPS or you should have this trinket, because again, it's very huge. This trinket alone will get cooldowns from the enemy team when there shouldn't even need to be. You know what I mean? Like the healer doesn't even need to be in CC. Like you could get a lot of cooldowns just by popping this. It's broken. Now, since that we went over the stats and the pieces of gear you want to be looking out for, let's go ahead and go over the traits real quick. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to be like, boom, boom. One of the traits you want to be looking out for is a groove training. Try to get up to 3 of those. Yeah, the heal does half of this in arena, 100%. But the main thing that I like about this, getting these traits right here, is honestly getting that extra hot onto your target, because this mastery does affect groove training, which helps your healing. So if you have like 20% mastery, when you pop this, you're gonna do additional 20% healing because of that one thing. And then the second one you're gonna be wanting to run is Wake and Dream. Basically, this affects your Azura gift. Every rejuvenation that you have on someone, it's gonna increase your Azura gift every 4 seconds that it procs by, you know, the amount that it says. But again, anything with like a number, so like 474, 9,185, all those heals that you see, it does half of that in arena, just because that's what Blizzard did. They changed it to make the healing not as much. Now I'm gonna go over the talents that I run in my 2s and my 3s. Basically, it's really simple. For my 2s talents, I run, you know, Solo Forest and Prosperity. Those again go really good hand in hand. In addition, I run Feral Affinity with Master Shapeshifter and Dampening in 2s, and Dampening as the dampening rises, healing becomes less valuable and DPS becomes more valuable. So if you're able to dish out some damage as a healer, it helps a lot. You're able to sometimes even solo healers or even the DPS, but this comes at a cost. We're giving away one of our biggest defensives, which is, you know, reduces all damage taken by 60%, plus the Frenzy Regeneration, which helps us survive. So when you do 2s, you're gonna learn when in games when you can play aggressive, when you can run these talents right here, or when you have to play the defensive. Most of the time, this is what I run. You're not always going to run this. Again, if you run the defensive build, it's going to be a little bit different. So for instance, you're not going to run Thorns. You could run something maybe even like Focus Growth, even though it's nerfed, still, you know, does something. You can even run Cyclone. It's up to you. It's dependent on the playstyle you like and the comp that you're running and the comp that you're facing. So there's a lot that goes into it. It's not like I could just make one video to talk about it, because there's so much. Like I would make like 20 different videos and like it'd be endless. Like there's literally almost endless possibilities. Sometimes a certain strat can work against a team, and then you face a different team but the same comp and it doesn't work just because they change up their playstyle or they change something that they did. So there's a lot of variables. So this is what I run mainly for my 2s. For my 3s talents, let me go ahead and show you. Okay, so this is what I run. Basically, it's the same thing except for running Guardian Infinity. I have Cyclone and I have Revitalize. And again, mana was reduced by a lot, like 55% mana regeneration for Resto Druids that was nerfed. So having Revitalize does help with keeping up rejuvenations up a little longer. Don't really run it for the heals. If you don't like it, you can run Focus Growth, even though it's nerf. And depending on the comp that you're running and the comp that you're facing, you can run Cyclone. If not, you can go into something else that you find viable. Like honestly, if I'm real with you guys, I really don't like the Resto Druid talents too much. But yeah. So if I'm facing like a Rogue Mage Druid, I will run Overgrowth and I will take out Nourish, because you're not going to be able to get any cast off. And sometimes I'll run Focus Growth. So this is like something I would run if I'm, you know, constantly trying to shapeshift like a Holy Powder Rep or a Mage's Poly Spam, you know what I mean? So this is what I run right here. Okay guys, I went a little bit deeper into this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's good to be back. I went to EU. For those that don't know and were wondering where my videos were, I went to EU to visit my girlfriend. I'm very happy about that. It's good to be back. Let's get into this, dude. Let's get into this.